Good morning, cadets. I welcome you back for the computer science class. In our previous class, we have discussed about the parameters and arguments. What do you mean by parameters? Okay, the values which are given in the function header are parameters, and the values during function call, whatever we mentioned there, they are arguments, and interchangeably they are called as parameters as well as arguments. But actually parameters means values given in the function definition or with the function header, and arguments are the values which are given while calling the function. And also we have discussed about 4 types of arguments: positional, default, keyword, and variable length arguments. We also seen the difference between these. The name itself suggests positional arguments. Whenever you are calling a function, right, suppose you are passing 2 values, 2 arguments to parameters, or 2 values you are sending to receiving variables, a position based on the position. Suppose A, B are passed to xy, A will go to x and B will go to y. That is positional. The default arguments. So some of the arguments can already assign some values. They are called as the default values. Clear? They are nothing but the default values. Okay? Right? That also we have discussed. And keyword arguments. Keyword arguments allows you to change the sequence of calling the arguments. That allows. And variable length arguments means, suppose the star is used. Remember, in the previous slide it is there. You can see here, right? Where the star, I have explained you, right? Okay, we'll come here. Function, this is positional arguments. Positional arguments, x and y are passed to A and B. Default arguments, you can give here. Rules also you should know that. So non-argument value, non-default value should not be after the default value, right? Next, we have seen about keyword named argument. They are also called as a keyword. So you can pass the values with the name of the variable, name of the argument, name of the parameter. And variable length, yeah, this was I was telling you, star means you can pass no parameters or no arguments. You can pass one argument, or you can pass any number of arguments, right? That is what the variable length it is called. So the length is varying here depending on whatever value will pass, your function will do, right? We can combine all these 3. An argument list must first contain positional arguments followed by keyword arguments. Keyword arguments should be taken from the required arguments. You cannot specify a value for an argument more than once. You cannot specify a value for an argument more than once. That is the meaning, right? Now, examples of legal and illegal function call. Let us see. Let us see, here is a function called as an average. Okay, n1 comma n2 comma n3 equal to 100. What is this example is what? There are 3 parameters. One is a default, n3 is a default. Of course, here n1 and n2 are not default, but n3 is a default. This is allowed, as you see, isn't it? After that comma n4 is written, that is wrong, because after default parameter there should not be non-default parameter. Now what this function is doing, n1 plus n2 plus n3 divided by 3, that is, it is finding the average of this value n1, n2. Now which are legal and which are illegal and why? Let us see on the slide. Right? Now, if I call as a function with the default value n1 as 20, n2 as 40, n3 as 80, it is legal? Yes. Non-default values provided as named arguments. Non-default values are provided as named arguments here. It is allowed. n3 is already 100, but you can pass 80. n2 is not having any value, you can pass 40. n1 is also not having any, because while calling the function you are using the keyword identifiers or keyword arguments, that is called as the named argument. Not only values you are passing, along with the name of the arguments you are passing, so that is allowed. Now we see here, n3 is 10, n2 is 7, n1 is 100. Legal. Keyword argument can be in any order. This is allowing. Actually, in positional arguments, n1 must be, n2 must be, n3, but not here, because they are keyword arguments or named arguments. So in any order you can go. 10 will go to n3 only, 7 will go to n2 only, and 100 will go to this n1 only, because they are named arguments, allowed. Now you see the third example here. Average 100 comma n2 equal to 10 comma n3 equal to 15. Still it is legal. Positional argument before the keyword arguments, right? Your 100 is a positional argument. Of course, it is before the named arguments. It is allowed. Now let us see. n3 is 70, n1 is 90, and here 100. It is illegal. Why? Keyword arguments are before the positional argument. That is the problem. Your positional argument may be before the named arguments, but here your named arguments are before the, isn't it? Right? Your named argument are after the positional, but here they are before the positional. That's why they are illegal. Remember. Next, 100 comma n1 equal to 23 comma n2 equal illegal. Why? Multiple values provided for n1. Sure. Yes, because positionally this will go to n1, right? And by using keyword argument, this is also go to n1. So n1, you at a time you are saying n1 should receive 100 also, n1 should receive 23 also. Illegal. Now average, here you, what is that? 200, num2 is 90, and n3 num, here written num 200 comma num2 is 90, n3 is 11. Illegal. Why? Undefined argument. Suddenly num2 has come here. Earlier you were saying only n1, n2, n3, but now in place of n2 you have written num2. That's why illegal. Okay. Now 21 comma num3 equal to 90 and 0. Sorry. 21 comma num3 equal to 900. A required argument n2 is missing. Right. We are talking about num3. We don't know, because that is also undefined only num3. But somewhere one argument is missing here. So you should be very careful while combining the types of arguments, like your positional argument, keyword argument, named argument, right? And your fourth, the types are here now. Which are those? By default, keyword, positional, and variable length. You can use a combination of all these three types of arguments, but you should be very careful as and when you will work on the in the Python interpreter. Definitely will come to know the what kind of mistakes and why it is giving error. And in our next class, what we will do, we'll write some simple functions, how to write, how to pass the arguments, and how to use them. Now still our this concept is not complete. Only so far we are discussing about parameters and arguments. What are the types of parameters or types of arguments, when the how the passing mechanism. The passing mechanism in the sense a sending variable and a receiving variable, in which order you have to send, in which order you have to receive, the number of arguments must be same in both, or they may be in a different position. So far we are talking about passing an argument or a parameter and receiving a parameter. Now we will talk about a returning. In in previous example you can see here a return. There was an example of returning, sure, where here return A. Can you see here return A? Then here also return is there somewhere, here also return, right? Okay. Now here also return is there. But so far we have seen a function is returning only a single value, right? Now let us see values, multiple values, more than one values can also be returned by a function. Let us see what is written in the slide regarding this. Unlike other programming languages, Python lets you to return more than one value from a function. Okay, generally in other programming languages you will return only one value from a function, but here in Python is having the facility of returning more than one values. The multiple return values must be either stored in a tuple, or we can unpack the received value by specifying the number of variables on the left of assignment of a function call. That we will see in the example. The meaning of which is when more than one values are returned from the function, It will be received by the tuple. It will be received by the tuple. Tuple means what? Which parenthesis we have used? Square brackets or flower brackets or parenthesis? Parenthesis we have used. I mean, if you use the square brackets, it is a list. If you use the flower brackets, it is a dictionary. If you use the parenthesis, it is a tuple. Let us see an example here. Okay. Please go through this slide here. What exactly this program does here. This is your function definition, starting with the def, name of the function, having 3 parameters and having body x plus 10, y plus 10, z plus 10. The meaning of which is x, y, z will receive the values from a function call, then it uses x, y, z to compute these, right? So this is your top level statements, understood? Function definition is over. These are your interpreters start compiling or start interpreting from the top line statement. So at n1 you will enter the first number, n2 you will enter the second number, n3 you will enter the third number. Now you have called, this is called as function call. Okay. Suppose if you don't write like this, only if you call, only function you can call, but the result you are unable to see anywhere. While executing the program, we will see that, right? Instead of new num equal to add 10 n1 into n3, just if I write add 10 n1 into n3, program will execute. But you are unable to see the result of the execution. Therefore, since your add 10 is returning something, okay, it will be stored in a variable here, right? New num is it. Now what it says is it is a tuple, it says, because it is returning more than value. If it is not returning more than one value, this will not be a tuple. For example, if it is returning only x plus 10, and here new num equal to x plus 10, it is not a tuple here, because there is only one value. That's why once after calling the function, after performing the statements given in the body of the function, when you are assigning to new num, and if you print new num, after execution see the result here. First number entered 10, second number entered 20, and third number you have entered 30. Okay, new num will be assigned with what, man? Why the value is this? Can you tell me? X receives 10, right? N1 you have entered 10. N1 you have entered 10. Pass the value 10 to x. 10 plus 10, 20. N2 you have entered 20. So 20 will be passed to y. 20 plus 10, 30. And 30 will enter to n3, 30 will be passed to z, 30 plus 10, 40. Therefore, your answer values are 20, 30 and 40. That is what you will see in the form of a tuple. This is the first case. As an entire tuple you can print it. Now another, what it says here, you just see unpacking. You know what is unpacking? Unpacking means retrieving each value or each member of a tuple. That is called as unpacking. Now same logic is here. Same values you are entering here, 10, 20, 30. Same value n1, n2 you are passing. But instead of writing a name for a tuple, because you know that your function is returning 3 values, so you give 3 variables here, right? Understood? Suppose you are returning 4 values, you give 4 variables here. If you are giving 2, you give 2 here. Now what will happen? X plus 10 will be assigned to n1, y plus 10 will be assigned to n2, and z plus 10 will be assigned to n3. Let us see that. You have entered, let us see, entered 11 here. The different values are entered. 11. 11 is passed here. 11 plus 10, 21. So n1 will receive 21. You have passed 22. 22 plus 10, 32, right? And you have passed, what is the third value you have entered? 33. 33 plus 10, 43. Is it clear? So as an entire tuple also, you can store it and print it, or you can unpack them in a different number of variables. This is what we are saying, right? Before going to the scope of variables, let us discuss about this composition. What is exactly this composition means? Okay, refers to using one expression as a part of another large expression, or using a statement as a part of another statement. This is called as composition. Examples. Anything you can understand here? Can you see? Yes. Max is a keyword. A plus B comma C plus A, depending on the value of A and B. So what you have done? A plus B is one expression. C plus A is another expression. Right? Right or not? Okay. So two expressions you are using them, you have made a big expression or a large expression. It is an example of an arithmetic expression. Now in case of logical, what happens? Card or cash, one more bracket, and internet banking or COD, cash on delivery. As many as logical expressions, you can combine them to form a larger expression. That is the meaning. Now examples you can see, it is shown here on the string. Anybody can understand what is exactly written here? Please go through here. What is the meaning of this? Yes, just see. Name is Vikram. Print name dot replace. Replace is a function used on strings. M comma nt dot upper. What is the meaning of this? Yes, let us check it rather than seeing that. Okay, let me go to my Python ideally. Right, let me check. Name as name equal to Vikram, right? Right. Now print what? From that name dot, the replace command was used. What is we are asking to replace? The M last alphabet with value ent, right? This was the command, right? Other I will add later. Let us see what it will do. What is the meaning of this? In the Vikram, M must be replaced by nt. Whether it will do? Done. Further, once again I will do write name here, Vikram. Okay. Now once again I will write print here, same name dot replace what? M with nt, M with nt dot upper. Something is written once again here, dot upper. What is this? Dot upper. Balanced? No, 3, 1, 2, 3. What was the syntax there? Upper is a function, no? Okay, upper is a function. So we should write now. Now this, okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right. Now what is the meaning of it? Let us see the result of this. What it has done? It not only replaced M with nt, it has made all the alphabets into uppercase. So why I have illustrated this? More complex expression can be formed using the simple expressions, isn't it? You can replace, you can upper. Further, if you want to do anything with the string, further you can do it, right? Okay. Anything you want to display here? You want to do slicing and see. Okay. No, once again, is there any slicing is possible? Let us check it. Now what I will do, I will copy and it will paste here. Okay. Now here, after this name, let us do from beginning to 3. Okay. Now what it will display? Let us check. Some error. As what was the error here? One more, I think, right? Syntax, invalid syntax, means it is not doing here slicing, or here I think mistake, right? Dot upper. Okay, leave it. Hope you understood about how a complex expression can be made, right? With this much here in our previous multiple returning values, a function will return more than one values, how we can combine all the types of arguments, this all we have seen, and in the next class we'll go with the topic scope of variables. Okay, this is also very important concept now. Or before going to scope of variables, what we'll do, let us try to write some of the functions and we'll execute and see the effect in the interpreter, right? So therefore we'll continue in the next class, cadets. Till then, bye bye.